Hello, hello. Welcome back to the weekly podcast, No More Excuses. Yes, we're back again for some Monday motivation, right? More of that. There's always more Mondays. Thanks again, as always, for listening and sharing the podcast as the podcast hit over 10,000 downloads. And I'm truly amazed, humbled, and so super grateful for that. And yes, just in case, this is Sandi Ballard, your host. And I'm not sure, I always forget to talk about the fact that you can hear this on iHeartRadio and YouTube. So if you are listening on that, give me a little shout out, okay? Love to hear from you. And I'm all the over 10,000 downloads, it's all because of you. So grateful for that. Really appreciate you. And man, was it just me? Or was last week's transition from July into August just a freaking shit show? I mean, what the hell? Not just for me, but for some of my clients. It was just amazingly crazy what was going on. And personally, it felt like that ride at Disney, I think it's Space Mountain, where it's just kind of that ball of utter craziness and it's hard to see and you're just spinning around. And, I kind of felt like at first, beginning of the week, it was like that King Cobra ride at Kings Island, where it goes up really slowly, and then it gets to the top, and then as you're going down, that's kind of where Space Mountain hit. It's just last week, for myself personally and for my clients, it was just this craziness. And last week's theme for podcasts and for social media was about knowing when enough is enough, when you're in that craziness, on the crazy train, and shit just is coming at you, you're getting overwhelmed and potentially burning out, and just figuring out how to say enough is enough, and just stopping it all. When you're on that Space Mountain ride, if you've ever ridden it, you're in that, just flying around, you can barely see, you don't know if you want to laugh, cry, or just scream. And I feel like that was kind of how last week was. I go, again, like I said, I go through it personally. My clients go through it. And sometimes I take on those emotions of my clients for them. You're welcome. So over the weekend, you may have felt like you were just exhausted, burned out, ready to say, fuck it all. Saturday, I know I would have loved to have gotten up and taken a boxing class, those kickboxing classes, and just get all the anger out. How do you shake it off? How do you restart? Do you meditate, yoga, run, scream, Netflix binge, sleep maybe? I know a lot of people who are just like, I just need to sleep. Maybe you just go play loud music. That's kind of what I did. I started writing and playing really loud screamo music. And I started thinking about all of you, wondering who else is going through that or has been through it, and how, you can shake it off and what you're going to do to get off the crazy train. One of my Instagram posts last week was, sometimes you just got to jump, right? Got to get the hell out. Again, for me, Saturday late morning, the Space Mountain ride came to a stop. I do really love that ride, but holy shit, it's exhausting. And it's now time to breathe. And as I was writing a song, not a screamo song, a song came on that was by Coldplay. And the one line was, nobody said it would be easy. And the last line of the chorus was, I'm going to go back to the start. And that's about just pausing, taking a breath. And I thought that song was very ironic as my crazy ride for myself came to an end. But, it's all about life, not our business. And when we're in that freaking spin, how do you get the hell out? So I ask, how often do you have a week like that? Perhaps it's just your life and you can't get out of it. But how do you snap out of it? How do you jump off before you totally crash and burn? Once the doors are slammed closed, how do you get out? Well, I'm here to tell you there is always a way out. Sometimes you got to ride it out, and sometimes you can recognize and say, what the hell? What is going on? And jump. And I want to help you guys identify how to do that, how to identify when you're in that, shit show, and just get out of it. You got to quit looking so hard where you came from, where the doors slam closed. You got to quit looking at the problem so intently because you're not thinking clearly, right? You got to stop thinking about what went wrong, what was lost. What's done is done. The important thing is the ride stopped, you opened your eyes, and you can now take a deep breath and look forward. Sometimes you got to check out for a hot second, and that's where it's like the sleep, yoga, run, meditation, whatever it is, so you can come back with fresh eyes and think about what's next. All right, so it's Monday, well, unless you're listening to this on a Friday, but it's a new day, a fresh start to a new week. So this week I want to hear from you. I want you to think about a time like that. Maybe it was last week. Maybe you were part of my shit show week. And what you did, how did you recover? And take a breath and tell me what's next. That's behind you. We've got to start learning of what caused it and learning how to recognize it and, jumping off before we crash and burn. But that's not easy, all right? So this week, email me, sballard@growingforward.biz, or post here in the comments, how do you recover from a shit show of a week? And tell me what's next. Once you take that breath and look at things with fresh eyes, what's next for you? How do you get to that next step and just go, whew, glad that's over. And if you're in a continuous loop of Space Mountain and no one's around to stop the ride, you need to contact me right away, sballard@growingforward.biz. Let's just chat. We'll schedule a call. We'll schedule a face-to-face, whatever it is you need to make sure that ride stops for you. All right? Have a great week. I look forward to hearing from you. Again, thanks for sharing this podcast. And if you haven't, do it. Cheers.